Hey guys, and today we are shooting the Alto K10. Now the Alto has been on sale since 2002 and not a lot has changed. This is the older one. Here's the key fob and let's open the engine bay right away. Just wait, I'm struggling with the latch. Oh, I found it. Now let's open it and see what's inside. So you get the same K series 1 liter motor which you can also found in the Estilo, A-Star, Celerio, Wagoner, and the Alto as well. This is the cheapest car to have that. Now this is the headline cluster. You've got high beam, low beam. You've got your indicator. You've got fog lamp housing. These are the 13-inch rims. Nothing fancy to talk about, but you did get wheel caps. It's not present over here right now. You've got an indicator on the fender. Nothing on the wing mirrors as such. Blackened out plastic wing mirrors. Pull type door handles built to a cost. And you have got, and as we get to the rear, you will be reminded of other Altos. The silhouette hasn't changed much over 20 years and it still looks kind of the same. However, if the design works, there's nothing wrong in changing it. So now let's open the boot, and you can also open it from inside as well. You get a decent sized 177 liter boot, enough for a weekend's getaway. You get cladding on the boot door, and these are the parcel shelf, and this is the boot floor, quite flat. You can raise and as you can see, the spare tire is a full-size spare wheel, which is surprising. Now you can also fold the seats to increase luggage space, and that's all I had to talk about the boot. Although it could have been a bit bigger because the Quid gets a bigger boot by around 100 odd liters. This is the tail lamp cluster, normal housing. This is the number plate housing, and now we get to the rear. So opening the doors, and you can see we've got dual tone interiors. Although it is plastic, there's no cloth used. The seat covers are black. All these are aftermarket seat covers. And as you can see, my legs are rubbing against the front seat, even though it's pushed back quite a bit. Yeah, the space is not good enough for a tall person like me, but for average people, it's enough. You don't have adjustable headrest, and you don't have a lot of space in here, but you've got a cup holder, and you don't have any door pockets as such. You got manual window controls. You cannot sit a lot of people, 3 people abreast, because the seat is quite narrow. However, if they are small children, they'll easily fit in. Alright, so guys, this was the rear. There's nothing much to show around, but yeah, the seat cushioning and so the seat base is quite comfortable for a car which costs this much, and the overall quality in the back is better than that of the Quid and the Quid and the Redigo, as they do have quite a lot of screws exposed. So moving on to the front, and let's check out what the dash has to offer us. Alright people, so now we are sitting in the Alto, and let's close the door. And as you can see, the car does not look cheap. You've got piano black finish for the audio system. You've got your AC controls over there. You've got the steering wheel over there, and plastic overall, it's an okayish quality. It's not very bad. And you've got a decent glove box as well. This is the instrument control. These are the controls for the lights. You've got blank buttons over there. You've got your mirrors, which are manually and internally adjustable. And now let's start the car, and I'll show you as to why the Alto has been one of the better cars when it comes to being cheap and reliable. Now, as you can see, I've turned on the instrument cluster, I've turned on the lights as well, and you get an RPM meter. How cool is that for a car which costs under 4 lakhs to get that thing? You can match your shifts, you can do rev matching and whatnot. So you've got dual trip meters as well. You've got a fuel indicator meter, you've got a clock, and that is the odometer, which stands at 21,000 kilometers right now. And you've got the telltale lights over here. You've got your seatbelt warning, and this is the Suzuki logo. However, this being the VXI variant, this does not get any safety safety, if which is a major concern, because it does not have airbags or it does not have ABS. So it all depends upon the driver, how he drives. And this is the music system. You've got USB, you've got aux, you've got a CD player as well, and you've got FM and AM. Now the Alto gets a touchscreen, well, with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So it does make it the cheapest car in India to have one. And these are the manual AC controls. The AC works brilliantly well for a car which it costs just around 4 lakhs, has a small engine. It does work pretty well. The throw is okay from the vents. You've got 4 vents, and yeah, the AC works fine. Then you've got the rear view mirror, manually adjustable for dimming at night. You've got dual wing mirrors as well. The earlier Auto did not get those, and yeah, there was a lot of features which were missing from the earlier Auto, but now these get it. This got central locking installed from outside, and this is the handbrake. These are the dual power windows for the front seats. You don't have any ones at the rear, and even at the front, this is the cabin light, and as you can see, it works fine. It works fine. Could have had a second cabin light in the middle as well, but hey, we're talking budget, right? So you have to cut costs somewhere. Now the door pockets of the car are not too large as well. As you can see, they are very slim. Now let me start the car up for you. I want to show you as to the basic thing which is a characteristic of the 1 liter engine. When you start her up, it does vibrate a lot. And as I have started now, and as you can see in the wing mirror as to how it is vibrating, the footage is not stable. We're seeing that. And now let me also show you the wiper controls and the light controls for the lights as well. The lights are decently powerful, although if you do a lot of highway driving, you might need an upgrade. The wipers work quite well, even though they have a single nozzle for spray. And now you can see the instrument cluster, it lights up. These are light controls, these are the wiper controls, and let me show you how these work. So the single spray does the job pretty well. The wipers work well enough, and now I wanted to show you a few more things which I forgot earlier. Now this is, you've got a charging port down there. Just in case you've got a charging port, then you've got 2 cup holders as well, in front of the gear lever. And yeah, that's almost all the storage options you have in the car. Yeah, the door pockets I've shown you before as well. And this is the music system, and let's hear an audio right away. This is the audio like Mr. Khan Psycho Style, and we proud. Okay, people, now let's drive the Alto K10. Let's put on our seatbelt, safety first, and here is the key fob, and let's start driving. So as I start the car, you'll see a lot of vibrations because this is a characteristic of all 1 liter engines, so I cannot reduce the vibrations and all. Okay, so now let's slot it into gear and let's go. Okay, so the Alto gets had two engine options. One was a 796cc, which was an engine carried on from the 800, then to the Alto, then the Alto 800 when it was launched in 2012, and all those things. And this one has the 1 liter engine from the Wagoner, the Celerio, A-Star, S-Silo, and even the Espresso use it now. Alright, so we'll talk about the K10 motor because we're driving it right now. And so this car produces around 67 bhp and around 100 newton meters of torque, which is great considering the power to weight ratio and the size it has. It is very nimble. It does not feel lethargic, unlike its competitors who do feel that there is a frequent need for a gear shift. Other than that, this car handles quite well. For a car which costs 4 lakhs, it does feel predictable. Other than and the ride is also good for the most part. The sharper bumps and potholes do feel, you can feel them. uh, the tires are small, they're just 13 inches, and the ride due to them is hampered a bit. If you got wider tires installed in the car, you definitely have better stability and better ride comfort. Now, the car is very maneuverable. It does not, it can turn in, take you can take quick U-turns, and the best part about it is the engine. The engine, you can rev the nuts out of it, and it won't stop running. I've seen Altos with more than 3 lakh kilometers, and they're still going strong. There is almost no maintenance in the car, and you get great efficiency as well. The main thing about the car is, the way it maneuvers. It handles pretty. It can navigate through small spaces easily, and it's best for driving in the city. And due to that maneuverability factor, you will see a lot of people in the hills driving these cars. Even the older Altos or even the older 800s, just because they're a bit more simpler to work on, and they are just mechanically easier than the Renault and the Nissan's Ready Go. Um, but with everything, there are some faults associated with this. Now, the first one would definitely be the vibrations. As you can see, the whole car is vibrating right now, and it has made the camera shake on, and while I was driving it wasn't. So yeah, harshness at low at when at idle is quite high. Other than that, there is the lack of safety features, and there is a compromise on build quality as well. Other things include lack of space, and the fact that when you turn on the AC, the engine bogs down a bit. I'd like to call it the boost button. That's why I like to call the AC button as the boost button, because once I switch it off, it goes off like a rocket. I mean, not literally, but yeah, it does improve the performance a bit. Okay, so another major disappointment in from this Alto is that the steering weighs inconsistently. At low speeds, it was feeling heavier. I don't know, I hadn't checked the tire pressures, but yeah, it did feel a bit heavier, and as it should not, because the Alto steering is quite light. um, and the fact that and the problem with all Marutis of the center of the steering wheel not returning to center. As you can see, I had to literally straighten up the steering wheel, which is not very good, considering from safe, because newer drivers do feel the need, the steering should correct itself. Other than that, the purpose for which the car has been built, it has fulfilled that purpose, and that's the reason for its sales. You might wonder why the Quid and the Redigo don't sell as much as Maruti does, this Alto does, because the Alto has built a name for itself, and in the past 20 years, it has been almost 20 years, it has been on sale. It has always sold more than 2 lakhs units per year. And even now it is selling strong, and as of 2020, it has sold over 40 lakh units. Now that is not very easy to accomplish, in a span of just 20 years. You should remember that even the 800, was had sold around 35 27 lakh units in 30 years of sale. So Alto has done quite a lot for Maruti. And after that, for the people, it has done a lot for the people as well. It has been their first cars. People have learned to drive on it, and the fact that it is a Maruti, it will always keep going. I hope it does. And it's cheap to maintain, it's easy to fix, it's easy to drive. It fulfills its purpose, and that's the reason, you know and that's the reason why this car has been selling despite of competition. The only reason for the Alto K10 to be discontinued was the launch of the Espresso.